Hey guys, how's it going? I thought I'd just make a quick video today about a topic that's a concern to anyone who's uploading music onto music libraries, or anyone for that matter who's trying to monetize their music online. And that is the amount of time that it takes to create quality productions. The quality versus quantity dilemma that we all face is such that, if you're not uploading regularly to music libraries and building up your profile of tracks online, then you're not going to see a lot of sales. But the flip side of that is, maybe you are prolific and you are uploading regularly and building up your profile, but you're not paying enough attention to the quality of your work, then your sales are going to suffer also. Now, this is a subject that I feel like pretty strongly about because, in my opinion, building a reliable source of income from music libraries is not simply just a numbers game. I mean, the way I see it is that it's a very careful balancing act between quality and quantity. And I mean, I think that it's very important, obviously, to be as productive as possible and to be uploading as much as possible. But you have to be paying attention to the quality of your tracks. If I have to sum up my number one piece of advice for anyone who's maybe just starting out or facing this problem of taking so long to finish a track, and this is something that I went through myself, and I'll talk a bit about that in a minute. But if I had to give one piece of advice, it would be do everything in your power to facilitate productivity so that you can focus all of your energy on quality. I'll tell you what my problem was. When I first started uploading tracks to Audio Jungle, it would just take forever for me to finish a track, sometimes upwards of like a week, and I would get really lost in the details. I'd get obsessive about things like, how the hi-hat sounded, just things that probably didn't really even matter that much, but I had this perfectionist mindset that really slowed me down in terms of my productivity. But I want to share with you a few thoughts that really helped me elevate my work as a composer, and in turn helped me create a much more reliable stream of income from music libraries. So one thing that really helped me was that I started to spend a lot of time, and I mean like a considerable amount of time, just cleaning house and eliminating all the obstacles that stood in the way of me being as productive as possible. I mean, some of the issues that I'm going to talk about are subjective. I mean, we all have our specific issues and problems that we deal with that get in our way. But all I'm saying is that I think you should ask yourself, what are the obstacles that stand in the way of you reaching your full potential as a composer? Because all I can tell you really is that, once you do eliminate some of these problems, and once you do get rid of some of these things that stand in your way, you are going to see results. I guarantee it. So I can only speak from experience, of course. So let me tell you about how I dealt with this problem. Now, first of all, on a production level, I had to get on the template train. This is something that I've talked about in previous videos, something I talk about in the courses. And, I used to have this idea in my mind. I used to have some resistance towards the idea of using templates because I think I used to be worried about all my tracks sounding the same. But that was just a misconception in my mind. It really didn't turn out that way at all. These days, I employ no less than probably about a dozen or so templates, in different genres and styles to help me finish tracks quickly, and it really, really works. Look, I mean, one of the reasons that the main reason that I use templates is because the amount of time that it takes to like scroll through your contact player and pull up the sample libraries. I mean, it's just such an energy suck. Those things should be ready to go in your track, right from the get-go. I mean, obviously you're going to have to, every now and then, you're going to have to pull up some random library that you might think of using during a track that's not in your template. But all the ones that are like regular and like go-to libraries, they should be preloaded in your templates. It's just going to save you an enormous amount of time. The way I see it is there should essentially be very little delay between the inspiration for an idea. Like when that light bulb goes off in your head, you should be able to put that idea down almost immediately. In terms of getting organized, though, I mean, using track templates was really just the tip of the iceberg. I started getting much deeper and creating custom contact libraries, for example, and loading all my favorite samples into them. I started started creating custom folders on my desktop, which had all my my go-to samples based on like genre and style that I could just easily grab from. I started saving my track channel settings so that when I plugged in my electric guitar or my bass guitar, for example, it was just good to go. I didn't have to like load in all those plugins that I always load up for those kinds of things. Basically, any like little time-consuming thing that was standing in the way of my productivity was in my crosshairs, and I started to systematically eliminate all of them. I mean, setting up all these templates and the folders and stuff, it definitely took a bit of time, but it was so worth the investment. And when I started to take the organization of my sessions more seriously, that's when things like really turned around for me. So at the end of the day, there is some pressure on you to be as productive as possible if, increasing your sales is something that you want to do. I know for sure that, there's a lot of you out there who are obsessive like I am and who get, totally lost in, the most minute details of your productions. And I think it's really easy to, get so lost in the process that you end up like losing some objectivity about your track, and you could wind up not only hating the track but hating the process, and that's a really bad place to be. If that sounds familiar to you, if that is you, then I would really recommend just taking some small steps to organize yourself, make the process a little bit easier, and I think that you'll find it's really helpful. All I can say is that it helped me, and I'm an extremely disorganized person, so it wasn't easy to set it all up, but it really paid off. On a non-production level, with regards to the uploading your tracks to music libraries, that process should be streamlined as well. And the last thing I want to do is spend like 5 or 10 minutes writing some elaborate description of my track. I really don't think that anyone's even cares about those descriptions. I mean, people are going to listen to your music and they're either going to like it or not, and that'll be the determining factor as to whether they buy it. That being said, I mean, I think that there's some value in the descriptions in terms of maybe the search algorithm. So I'll add like a lot of the tag words I'm using for the track into the description. But that being said, I have like track description templates. Like I have like 20 of them, and like I have like tag templates as well, because I mean, there's no way I'm gonna like write out the individual tags for each upload. I mean, it just takes so much time. It's so painful. Those things all get copy pasted, and if I have to like change up a word here and there, then I'll do it, and it's that easy. And usually the upload process only takes a couple minutes for me. And beyond all of that, on a personal level, just eliminating some of the issues that stood in the way of me being as productive as possible. It would be like, drinking and partying, for example. I mean, I think if music is something that you want to do, then I think you have to spend an enormous amount of time focusing on the quality of your work. And, you have to prioritize. For me, I mean, it's like I'm really fortunate to be able to do this, to be able to do this full time now. But like when I used to work, I used to have a full-time job that I did like 9 to 5, pretty much Monday to Friday. And back then there was so little time to develop my skills as a producer. So, I had to stop going out in the evenings, and like I woke up like 3 or 4 hours before work every day. And I just sat down and like, I took in as much information as I could, like whether that be like tutorials or courses that I was taking. And I just worked on my chops, and then I went to work, and then I came home, ate dinner, and usually just went to bed. And that required some degree of sacrifice, in terms of my social life, unfortunately. But that's the way it goes, because I think that, if you really want to take it, to the next level, I think you have to make some sacrifices. I think the whole point of this video is really just to say that, like, looking back, when I started to take music really seriously, I really had to take a hard look at some of the problems that were standing in the way of my productivity. And I think I have to acknowledge that I'm really fortunate that I was able to even carve out a little bit of extra time in my day. And I know that there's a lot of people out there who are in much more difficult situations, who have a lot more responsibilities than I do. Like, for example, maybe like I know a lot of you have families to take care of, and it's really hard to find that extra time. That being said, I think that the whole gist of what I'm trying to say is that if you can find identifiable problems that get in the way of you being as productive as possible, then it's worth taking, like, just sitting down and asking yourself, what can you do about it? And if there is anything you can do about it, then do it, and make the process easier on yourself, and just facilitate creativity. because I think that you'll enjoy the process more, you'll be more productive. And I think that will make a huge difference in terms of your development as a composer. And I've no doubt that inevitably it will have a really positive effect on your sales overall. Okay, so that's my rant for today. I really hope you were able to take something away from that. And I just thought I would kind of just go on a tangent there. So thanks for listening. I really appreciate you all. And big shout out to my supporters on Patreon. If you want to support this channel, please check me out there. I'll put that link below. And you'll get access to course and product discounts, personal feedback on your tracks, and mixing and mastering tutorials. So feel free to go check out my content there. And in the meantime, I will wish you all well, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.